Hi everybody and welcome to another super exciting edition of C4, sorry. Let's meet the wonderful teams. To my left it's John Hartman, hello.
Hey Rob.
How are you?
I'm very well.
You are dressed like a Jehovah's Witness.
I feel like one.
Why is that?
That's just, my wife choosing my clothes.
Let's move over to your teammate, which is the lovely American Elise. Howdy.
Howdy.
And how are you today, ma'am?
Well, if you're going to try to mock a southern accent, you better at least pull it off, honey. That's all I'm saying.
You want to pull me off? Marvellous. Okay, let's move to the right where we have Stuart Wiggin. Hello, Stuart.
Hello again.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Oh, Stuart, it's lovely to see you. And you're joined by the delightful Jing Jong. Hello.
Hello, I'm Jing Jing.
Jing Jing, my apologies indeed. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
You were on the show before, weren't you?
Yeah.
Did you have any fun at all?
Yeah, that's why I'm here this time.
Wow, it all makes sense.
Because she's a masochist. So let's be clear. The fun is like pain and...
S&M, 50 Shades of Jing Jing. Let's move on to the first story, please.
Oof.
Who wants to buzz in and tell me the relevance of this poor woman? Jing Jing couldn't use the bell correctly. Shame on you, Laura. Okay, let's go over to John Hitler Hartman.
So these are some pictures of the aftermath after a woman was accused of stealing.
The aftermath usually happens after, indeed.
She did steal.
She did steal.
Oh, what did she steal?
Powdered milk.
Powdered milk. Jing Jing, why did she steal powdered milk?
Because she was too poor to buy one for her baby.
Okay, that's
Apparently.
really tragic. Okay,
And also the kicker in all of this is that
it was a puncher, actually.
And a clubber. She was 2 months pregnant at the time.
Yeah.
They beat a pregnant woman. 5 of them.
But did they know?
You're jumping ahead of the facts
It
here,
only
aren't you?
takes 4.
No, but even if she weren't pregnant, even if she were a guy, the fact is that, yes, she stole something, but instead of them calling the police or doing anything normal, they dragged her into a back room and proceeded to beat her.
Well, first of all, let's get this straight. Let's be fair. They asked for some phone numbers, and she gave them.
Yeah, so they could extort 3,000 kwai from her family members.
So they could try and extort money, and then they couldn't get the money, and then they beat her up.
Okay,
Right,
brutal
so-
indeed. So, Jing Jing, how do you feel when you saw this woman with bruises all over her body?
Everybody feels very sad when they see it, and
Well,
no
not the
matter
people who did it.
right. But I think whatever she has done, she just people shouldn't beat her up. That's for
Okay.
sure.
And also, one of the sad conclusions to this story is that she went to a hospital to get her arm taken a look at because, as we saw the X-ray, it actually was broken. The first hospital she went to refused service.
Why would they do that?
Because she's pregnant.
Unbelievable.
You mean
So-
they refused to give her an X-ray?
They refused to give her an X-ray and they refused to do surgery. The second hospital she went to, she had to first conceal that she was pregnant, and then after they found out that she was pregnant, she had to sign off like a
Is that standard
waiver.
practice across the world that you can't have an X-ray if you're pregnant?
No.
Well, we've all
Okay.
learned a lot here today. Jing Jing wants to say something. What
Yeah,
is it?
maybe the first hospital, the technology in the first hospital was not advanced enough to, test her injuries. That's why they didn't do that.
They didn't have an X-ray.
Well, also, I mean, it is slightly dangerous to have surgery while you're pregnant. Apparently, the best time to have surgery while you're pregnant, if you have to, is after or during the second trimester.
How do you know all this, John Hartman?
Because I do research.
Wow, that is something that none of us do. Okay, Jing Jing, do you think it is ever acceptable to hit a lady?
No.
It's not what you said when you smacked me earlier today.
I mean, you're different.
Oh, she's not a lady? What? A slap in the face. Ironic.
Right.
Okay, John Hartman, you're
That's
married.
mutual agreement.
I am. What? What?
S&M aside,
I'm desperately confused.
violence against women is bad. Violence in any form in the home is just the worst thing ever. But, I mean, just this concept that it's 5 guys beating up this one girl. I mean, even just 5 guys beating up another guy, that just seems like so lame.
Not if they did it to The Rock.
Well,
Or
because The
Hulk
Rock
Hogan.
could take them on.
He could. The Rock could just crush them because he's made of stone. John Hartman, have you ever beaten your wife?
No, I haven't.
Have you ever thought about it?
There have been some times where it's seemed like a good option.
A couple of times a minute? And how have you restrained yourself from going through with the beating?
Usually, I remove myself from the situation and probably smoke a cigarette or find some other way.
Go steal some powdered milk.
Go and beat someone else. Okay. What about you, Stuart Wiggin? Have you been beaten by a woman?
No, never.
Okay. We'll
Occasionally.
We'll talk about those bruises later. And Jing Jing, what about you? If you had a violent boyfriend, would you beat him back?
I wouldn't have a violent boyfriend in the first place, so that wouldn't happen to me.
Hypothetically speaking, if you did.
Hypothetically is a big word, too big for Lao Law. Okay, but what about your glasses? It looks like someone's stolen the glass from them.
Hypothetically speaking, if I had I mean, your question is the glasses.
I've got two different questions.
Yeah, right.
Ignore his question.
Should we just move on to the next story? Okay, next story, please. Okay, what's the relevance of this landscape and these vegetables?
It looks like Inner Mongolia.
Oh, you didn't buzz. Oh, there we go. Yes, Stuart Wiggins.
That was Mars.
It was Mars. You've gone straight in with the correct answer.
And vegetables.
And vegetables. Damn.
Growing vegetables
so
on
lovely having
Mars.
Americans
Oh yeah,
on this
growing
show.
vegetables on Mars.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. So, what is the relevance of I'm gonna die. Growing vegetables on Mars.
Oh.
Get your ass to Mars.
It's the marrows.
The marrows, yes, the marrows.
So it's
Okay.
this fake vegetable. It doesn't really exist.
Everything
evidently.
in China's fake.
Actually, for our American viewers of this program, marrow is a kind of squash. We don't actually have marrow in the
Do you know what the
think they
cutest
made
thing
it up.
is? We don't have any viewers anywhere. Okay, yes, Stuart Wiggins.
So they recently did a test in Beijing under certain conditions to mimic
Martian conditions.
to mimic Martian conditions, and they grew vegetables
Very good.
in
indeed.
preparation for when they eventually go to the moon and they go to Mars.
They want to colonize Mars.
because they're
do they?
expecting to land on the moon next year. China, that is.
Okay, well, good luck to them. Jingjing, how do you feel about China exploring space, going on the moon, and setting up a base on the Mars?
I think that's a great move in terms of technology.
Okay, do you think they should probably be sorting things out at home instead of doing that?
They can do that and
It's a good
do
way-
this and do that at the same time.
It's a good way to increase, patriotic spirit.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember when America landed on the. Wait, no. But anywho, the coolest thing about it was what the astronaut said about creating the highest political party in the world up there.
The camera's
A
not on you,
branch
Rob.
of
is
the
now.
Communist
Branch of it,
Party.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, would you like to go to Mars?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay, but it takes a long time to get there. What would you do for like the
Look,
18
if
months?
I can like handle getting through traffic to get all the way from Chaoyang district to Babaoshan to do this show, I'm pretty sure I could handle a
And
flight
it's
to
probably
Mars.
safer to go to Mars as well. Yes.
Apparently, they can only grow 4 types of vegetables.
Is that going to be a bit boring?
You'd imagine so, unless
I
you,
I don't know.
unless
I
you
mean,
only like
Chinese
4
can
types
make
of
different vegetables taste pretty amazing
Okay, what would you do with 4
fried
vegetables?
with 4 vegetables. This is like
Oh,
a
don't
1,000
answer that. I've just had a naughty thought. Jingjing, what about you? Would you like to go to another planet?
That depends on who I go there with.
With Mr. Lao Luo, the boss of the Lao Luo school.
I don't mind going there with him.
How about
there you go.
how
She
about
really
Rob?
did work in PR.
No,
How about
but
Rob?
How about going with
Yeah,
him?
would you go with Rob?
Hey.
I don't mind either. I mean, as long as you behave.
Okay.
I will give you a chance, right?
If you want me to behave, you'll have to cut off my hands. Okay, John Hartman, what about you?
What about me?
You look like a Martian already. When are you going back to your home planet?
in the next couple of months.
Finally, let's move on to Stuart Wiggin. You look like you want to die. Would you prefer to go to Mars or kill yourself? If you go on a
it's a
Chinese
tough
rocket,
one.
it's one and the same.
It's a tough one. No, it's not. Chinese space program's doing very well, in fact.
Oh, what's it called? It's called like Suzhou or something.
Well, no, I think
The
it's called
program.
the.
What was that spaceship? that
Shenzhou.
went- Shenzhou.
Shenzhou.
That's, what
But
I
that's
was
not the
thinking
name of the
Suzhou.
program.
And then
That's
there's
just
the
the name
Chang-
of the
The space
with
craft.
What's the
rocket.
Chinese word for Mars?
火星.
Huaxing? Okay.
Fire
I mean,
star.
yeah,
That's like
yeah.
huasheng, which is a peanut.
Oh my god.
Close, but not.
Not even.
planet
Not
of
even a
close.
little bit.
Totally different.
Not even
And
a little
I
bit.
like
Audience, please
oh.
do not even. No, do
Lao
not.
Tzu Huasheng. That's peanuts in vinegar. It's really nice if you come here on holiday. Anyway, moving on from that. Next story, please. Okay, what's the relevance of this house in the middle of nowhere? Stuart Wiggin has finally buzzed in. What's the
This
relevance?
is a real life Ding Zhu.
Oh, Ding Zahoo, the irony. Okay. Let's ask Jing Jing for more details. The house?
So the elderly couple had refused to move because they were not satisfied with the compensation package, but finally they did.
So they were happy at the end.
Maybe.
It's unclear. I mean, because apparently they had spent around 600,000 renminbi to renovate and to like fix it up and make it look really nice inside. But ultimately, the compensation package was only 240,000 renminbi.
260, right?
So it started at 220 and it went up to 260.
Yeah,
By the
yeah,
way,
excuse
this is
me.
in Zhejiang. This is
Okay.
in
I was just
Wenlin
about to
City.
say, yes.
And
But,
yeah. That road goes to the railway station.
They only got
Beautiful.
40,000 more in order to leave, so they didn't really do a good job of negotiating.
I just think
did
it's
they?
kind of sad because it was this beautiful symbol of resistance against the man, but you know, now
But
it's
like every symbol of resistance, it came down under
With a
hail
price.
of nastiness. Yes, yes, everyone can be bought. Do you believe that everyone can be bought, Jing Jing?
Yes, like what we are.
How much do you cost?
More than you.
More than you.
Oh, very witty. Okay, what about you, John Artman? How do you feel when you see this house come down?
I thought it was pretty well when it came down.
Yeah.
I mean, ambivalent or indifferent, I suppose. I mean, it's just one of those things where,
Indifferent.
yeah.
it just happens. Oh, it's just
I don't
mush.
care.
Okay.
I was gonna say because actually I enjoyed the picture of before it was taken down. It was just a very
Yeah.
interesting little spot.
I mean, it was.
Artistically
It was
speaking, it had a certain
and
theme.
also to me, it really just goes to show how little respect the local government had for these people living there, because they just said, you know what, you're not going to move, so we're just going to build around
yeah,
you.
it was inevitable.
But
that
this
would
happens a lot in China, doesn't it, Jing Jing? That people won't move out because they're not happy with the compensation, so they just build around them. And a lot of people in China, Elise, have actually got quite hot under the collar about this issue, haven't they? Stuart, do you remember the story of Avatar?
Yeah.
I remember reading that it was a possibility, not necessarily true, but just a possibility, that Avatar was actually about forced relocation.
But I think also that wasn't it about Native Americans? Like wasn't that the idea?
Yeah, but
So if it was forced,
don't
if it was
forget,
pulled out,
in China, things get cut and taken out for things that aren't even meant to be
I know, but then
offensive.
that was just
Men in
some-
Black 3, the Chinatown scene. It was good. It wasn't rude at all. Silly.
However, everything they get cut from this show is offensive.
Well, in fact, if they actually cut what was offensive, this show wouldn't exist, would it?
No.
Okay, let's move on to the final. Is it the final story?
Yeah,
next?
already.
Let's hope so.
Oh, good. Please.
Oh, it's the boobs.
Boob story, please. Okay, what's the relevance of this woman? Yes. Who was that?
It was me.
Oh, go on then.
Well, she is a model who was portraying herself to be a policewoman from some smaller city in China and putting these photos as well as certain microblog entries up on Weibo. And then she got caught.
Okay, so she wasn't really a policewoman in real life.
Right, so she was impersonating a
She
police
claimed
woman.
Impersonating. Stuart Wiggin, is that a crime in England?
What she did,
Impersonating a police officer.
impersonating a police officer in person, yes, that's a crime. Impersonating any kind of emergency services officer.
But I think impersonating someone online like that, I don't see how that is a crime.
Well, no, because I could impersonate a young girl.
It
to
might.
make
I mean, it
friends
still
with other
might
young
be.
girls.
It still might be abroad. You can think of instances where it might be. Like I could dupe someone into believing that I
Well,
was
A journalist.
clever. See what you did there?
Okay. What about you, Jing Jing? How do you feel about this woman pretending online to be a policewoman and talking about accompanying local officials to dinner and stuff like that?
When I first saw it, I felt awkward because she was showing too much of her skin. That's that's I think how every girl feels when they see that. And
Not lesbians.
Assuming that she was a real police officer, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and there's some truth to what she said. So yeah.
And certainly this isn't the first case that something this has happened. Earlier this year, there was a case of a woman impersonating a military officer, claiming to be quite high up in the ranks, also posting some sexy photos. Turns out she was a complete fraud. She claimed that her regiment was in Beijing, but in fact she's in somewhere in the central China. And then, of course, a couple of years ago, there was Guo Mei Mei pretending to
You
be.
seem to know
You
quite a lot
seem,
about
you
this
seem to know a lot
society.
about women taking their clothes off who aren't who they say they are.
Yep.
One of your hobbies, is it?
Yep.
What?
Oh, one of your
No, but I
hobbies.
mean, I think it's particularly
Ginger
interesting
Hitler.
that I think it's particularly interesting that they got so upset about her because it's obviously about the sexualization of female police officers that's so negative, right? Supposedly. Or is it
No, I
really
think
about...
it's No, I think
what was
it's
she
about
convicted of, though? What was the crime?
causing distress to the public. I
Causing
think it's about
distress.
the idea that they would accompany officials to a dinner.
But let's be clear, this woman didn't accompany the local officials.
No, she
She's
did not.
not a police officer.
Okay, so she's not a policewoman, although what she said about police women doing is probably
she
true.
got sentenced to 9 months in jail.
But she's not in jail, is she?
Right, because she, for good behavior, she's out.
Or what kind of good behaviour could she have provided that kept her out of jail, eh?
Nothing. She's just a kid. That's why they.
She's not a kid, she's in her 20s.
What do they cite burglars with good behaviour for? They don't do anything. Let's just they keep their head down and don't shank anyone. It's true.
Oh, John Hartman, have you ever been shanked? No. Okay. Do you know what shanking is?
I think I know.
Tell us.
From your
hold
facial
on.
experience.
Prove how good Lao Luo is at English by telling us what this word to shank means.
We've got very excellent students, so they can figure that out by themselves.
Oh, she used to work in PR. Well done to Jing Jing there. Good job. Okay, well, let's wrap it up now because I've had enough. Don't forget to check out the show on Weibo, which is down below. And also, if you want to email in, if you know the meaning of the word shank, for example, that's down below. John Artman, did you enjoy yourself?
Of course.
Really?
Not.
No one did. Okay. Elise,
Yes.
better than nothing, innit? Or probably not.
I
not?
don't know. I don't
Definitely
know.
not.
I just prefer you stayed in
What
bed.
a waste of time.
Waste of life. Stuart Wiggin, I'm not going to ask you.
Quite clearly, I didn't have fun.
But Stuart, was there a time in your life when you did have fun?
Yeah, before this show started.
No, it was before you came to China.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally, Jing Jing, are you the only one on stage who enjoyed yourself?
I've had as much fun as you guys fun
So
put together.
Oh, nobody enjoyed it this week, and I bet you at home had no fun watching it, so bye for now.
Bye.